Shoes, shoes, shoes. Shoes for running, shoes for walking, shoes for wedding, and now the shoes for Camino de Santiago. However, choosing your shoes wrongly can be the biggest mistake of all the pilgrims and actually quite common. What shoes can survive more than 500 kilometers? Are the hiking boots outdated? Are trail running shoes the new gold, or simply walking barefoot is the best thing the Mother Nature gave us so far? So in this episode we're gonna go through the theory of the best shoe to walk Camino de Santiago 500 miles comfortably. Let's start! So let's be strategic about this video. We're gonna divide it into 3 different parts. I hate when they do this. 3. The first part, we consider the characteristics of Caminos, the length, the terrain and the altitude. The second part is considering the weather, rather the seasons when you're gonna walk your Camino. And only with that information we can go to the third part, which would be finding the perfect shoes they can get you from the beginning till the end comfortably. And in the end of the video we're gonna give away free content stuff, so don't miss it. So let's analyze 3 main Caminos. If you follow the footsteps of Martin Sheen, that means that you're doing French Camino, and it starts from Saint-Jean-Pierre-de-Port, 820 kilometers. That means that you have to cross the Pyrenees 2 to 3 days, then the face Belorado Hill 1 day, then you have Foncebadon another 2 days, and then Ocebreiro Mountain Hill, which will take you another 2 days. And after that the Camino is quite plain. And if you don't have enough holidays, you can always go for the last 100 kilometers from Sarria to Santiago, which takes you 5 to 7 days, where the highest change of altitude is around 300 meters, so it can be considered as somehow hilly walk. We can also choose the Camino Portuguese that starts from Lisbon or Porto, and for many this is considered an easy alternative for the French Camino. You can do it for more than 2 weeks, and the most important, the difference of the altitude doesn't even reach 500 meters. Or the last option, you can venture yourself into the Camino del Norte, facing the important 7 week of the hilly and steep Basque mountains. So which is your way? How much of the mountains you actually have on the way? If it's the French Camino 6 days, if it's the Camino del Norte 7, 8, or if it's Camino de Sarria, which has mountains. 0. Either you choose, you have to be in the perfect balance, because the Camino de Santiago takes you from off-beaten tracks to the asphalted roads of cities, which your shoes has to fit in between. So if you find this useful, please comment down below useful. Use the chat. There is a chat where you can share all your doubts and all your worries about us, Camino de Santiago, and any other thing. That's the first. And if you find it really useful, maybe you consider being our member, which is supporting us on the monthly basis, which allows us to do this informative work cost-free for everyone. And you know what, being a member, it's getting free extra footage, not only the Spanish classes that we provide, but we also provide extra question and answer sessions, and even we can craft the Camino de Santiago specially for you if you have a special needs. It's cool to be a member. Let's be a part of the family. Join now. Thank you. So understanding the Camino de Santiago is understanding the season and weather, which normally would start in April and finish somewhere in November. And this is the Camino with a guide. March. GORETEX. April. May. No GORETEX. June. July and August. September. or without GORETEX. October. GORETEX or hiking boots. November till February. And this is Camino weather guide. And how does it actually translate into the shoe experience? The more rain, the more water resistant you need, and the more heat, the more trustability, breathing, and the more heat, more breathing you need in your shoe. So the GORETEX, which is like a membrane which you put inside of the shoe, it allows you to protect from the water, but at the same time it doesn't allow you to make the shoe breathable, and your feet gonna overheat and be sweaty. But let's don't come to conclusion which GORETEX or no GORETEX. Let's wait till end of final decision. And now with that information only, we can jump into our shoes, Camino shoes.
And the nominees are...
So the first nominee is hiking shoes. But to understand what is a hiking shoes, let's know the definition of hiking according to Wikipedia. Hiking is a long and vigorous walk, usually on trails and footpaths on the countryside. Thank you. And now the real story. If you think about hiking, you think about mountains, you think about Annapurna, you think about Mount Everest, you think about John Muir's Trail. Those distances and those places, they require the full protection, not only for the weather conditions, but the outside conditions as well. Like if the bear comes, you just kick the bear. Or maybe not. It's really stable, it's really durable. And these ones, it has been used by the British or German army, so it has to be a durable thing. I did more than 1,000 kilometers with the shoe, and the sole is still hardly touched. You see, this is the stability, this is rigidness and stability. It's a good shoe. Next. And our second nominee today is trail running shoe. Let's once again ask Wikipedia about trail running shoes. So the trail running is a sport activity that combines running and hiking. So it has to be flexible, it has to be light, and that's what it is. So look at that. You find the similarity between this and this? Yeah, in some way. I suppose in some way. But what I say, that the weight of this one and the weight of other one, it's totally uncomparable.
It's like emotions, heavy emotions.
This one is made to absorb all the impact. Look at this big cushioning. This could be around 2 centimeters of cushioning, which will help you to absorb all the running impact. And if you want to walk, imagine how soft could it be? So this is definitely a versatile shoe. By the way, do you remember this shoe? And so this shoe that we compared the last time on our last video, if you want to have a look, and this shoe so far nearly did 2,000 kilometers. Okay, it even survived the monsoon, and it's still the sole is a bit used, but it still serves the purpose and is super comfortable. Next. So this is the holy grail of the shoe. If we have to wear something on our feet, let it be at least natural as it could probably be. But you have to get used to this, okay? Yeah, many good stuff, especially the drop zero. The idea of the drop zero is an inclination between the heel and the toe, which is in normal condition 0. Whereas in the different shoes, in the new shoes, sometimes you have the inclination of +5, +7, +8, which allows you for faster and more agile walking, but not really as the mother nature brought us here, no? It actually even has the little toes, fingers, places. Every toe has its own life and means as a freedom. There's a freedom inside. It's light. This shoe is made to walk everywhere and feel everything. Being connected to nature is one of the things that the pilgrims want, and that's why we do hiking, this camping and everything else, because we feel the part of the nature. So having the barefoot like shoe could be a life-changing experience. So these are the pros, but probably there are some cons as well. Our hiking boots is definitely rigid. So if you put in consideration what type of Camino that you do and how much of the mountains you can find there, you can come to conclusions if this is for you. And what about the cons of this shoe? Trail running shoe has no cons. Trail running shoe has no cons. Trail running shoe has no cons. And the last one, which is our barefoot shoe, which is not water resistant, which with this minimalistic sole means that every paddle you step, your foot would be wet. But anyway, there are other brands like Zero Shoes or Vivo Barefoot that allows you to mix the hiking shoe and the barefoot shoe, which are the videos that I did some time ago. My perfect shoe characteristic. The first one, versatility. The shoes has to be prepared for all types of walks. In Camino de Santiago you have some mountains and you have some asphalt. So you're packing as light as possible in the backpack. So the shoe has to have the same characteristic. Third, wide toe box, because the toe box allows your toes to be free. Whenever they constructed to limited space, they clump together and they die.
Death and more death.
And another of those things, they has to dry fast because of the rain. So if they're made of breathable and light material, that hits all the characteristics of my perfect shoe. This one was on the promotion the other day. I got it, I'm gonna try it out. That's not the sponsored video, as you can imagine. But if you want to sponsor us, there is an option to be a member. As you remember, join the button. We even have a coaching one-on-one. If you're not really sure about the Camino, if you want to prepare physically, mentally, spiritually, emotionally. Ha! And now we launching the Camino guide, which will be free for all the members, and from all the subscribers will have an extra price. But if you remember, you get it for free, and there you can get the question and answers for all the Camino doubts that you might have. Coming soon. And now the big question, GORETEX or no GORETEX? And I have to tell you from my experience, the GORETEX shoes, when the rain is really heavy, they're gonna get wet too. These ones are good for heat. These ones are good if you walk in the summer and the water is seldom, so that the shoe dries itself up quite easily and rapidly. So if you choose to walk in the spring and autumn, or even in the winter season, maybe the GORETEX would be a choice for you. And now the last part, which is the foot anatomy, which tells you that you need the special shoe for your own foot, because there are many feet problems all over the world. There are people that have a plantar flammalitis, and any other litis, titis, and witis, that they require a special shoe.
Let's finish this.
And now, as I promised you, there is a free stuff, there's a free packing checklist. Go down to our newsletter, subscribe to newsletter. We're gonna send you the first information as the other mails with the best videos about first steps on Camino de Santiago, which will be really useful for everyone, especially for you.
Lollipop.